Hello there YouTubers, and welcome to another episode of DrCassette's workshop. Today, the JVC model RX-150 FM/AM digital synthesizer receiver. Now unfortunately this video is not going to be a demonstration. I would like to demonstrate this receiver because it is a rather nice unit, even though it is a fairly cheap and bottom of the line thing. It does look quite nice. If I lift it up, you can see doesn't look all too bad, doesn't it? Now, unfortunately, this receiver has a problem, and it is a very, very serious problem. It involves the main amplifier chip. As you can see, this is an STK4141 Mark II stereo amplifier. And this thing has a problem. If you turn on the amplifier, the display for the tuner lights up. It's nice and orange. Can't really see that, unfortunately. And as you can see, it does have a rather complicated graphic for the inputs. You can see we have CD, or video sound as they call it, phono, and then of course the tuner for FM and AM. We have a tape monitor which activates that thing right there. It's kind of an interesting thing that they made up right there. Of course, CD and video sound, I guess the next model up would have had a button right here saying video sound. That's, of course, all due to this thing being a bottom-of-the-line model. Now, if you turn this on, what happens is nothing happens. There is a relay down there which turns the speaker outputs on and off. And as you can see, I had to do a little bit of melting the plastic and now have the cap off. And as you can see, this relay, of course, the amplifier is turned on, so the relay is supposed to be in the on position, but it isn't. As you can see, it's open. And that's already a pretty bad sign. Now, just in case you wonder, why does DrCassette melt this cover so that it comes off? In order to reach the relay, I otherwise would have had to take out the whole entire circuit board because you can't take out the bottom part, very unfortunately. So, this doesn't close. So I thought, okay, maybe a problem of the relay, and that's why I took it apart to be able to close it manually. And that's what we are going to do right now. And we do have a bit of a test setup going on here. If you have trouble with a speaker protection circuit that is connected to one of these STK chips, you don't want to test the amplifier with a speaker. I did that once. I set the speaker on fire. So a voltmeter is definitely the better solution, and we are going to set it to 200 volts. Because that's safe. So you can see I just have it hooked up straight to the speaker outputs, and it's showing 0 volts, and that is good because that means that the speaker protection circuit is working. I now want to go ahead and close the relay manually, and just push down on that, and now it's closed, as you can hopefully see. And there is the problem. If it's closed, there are a whole 36.7 volts on the speaker output, and that's definitely going to blow up your speaker unless you're using a very powerful model. So you can see if I put the relay back into the off position, it goes back to 0, and in the closed position, there we are. Now, what does that mean? That means that somebody has shorted the speaker outputs of this amplifier. Now, we do have this protection circuit, but apparently it's only designed to protect the speakers in case something is already going wrong. Circuit is not to protect the actual chip. And these chips, they all have one thing in common. If you short the speaker outputs, the chips are immediately broken. So be careful. And if they are broken, if one channel has been shorted, or maybe even both, I once opened up one of these chips, and what happens is that there is an overload that basically melts the power transistors that are integrated into this circuit, and as a final result you get this nasty output DC voltage. Now we can also test the other channel. I just quickly take my test leads out of there. These speaker connections, by the way, are really cheap. They are garbage. Anyway, we are now hooked up to the other channel, and now I want to close the relay once again, and here we are. So you can see this little minus sign pops up. I don't know what's up with that. That pops up whenever it wants to, apparently, but as you can see, 0 volts DC, and that's good. That is good. That basically means that the one channel is still working, but the other one isn't. But since the protection is, of course, for both channels, it also turns off the other channel. So, all in all, this receiver unfortunately is broken. It would need a new STK4141 Mark II, but these chips are rather expensive. If I would go into the local electronics store, I would pay close to 50 euro. They do have a selection of these STK chips. If I would order one in the internet, it would probably be cheaper, maybe it would be more expensive, I don't know. The one thing I do know is that this receiver is not worth that money. Because for, well, the 30 euro I would pay for a new chip, I could get a much nicer, much better receiver off eBay in fully working order. So, that's it basically. That was the JVC model RX-150 FM/AM digital synthesizer receiver.